Hello, everyone. Hope everybody's doing great today. Today, we'll be discussing and reviewing Netflix's new Korean show, Under the Queen's Umbrella, starring Kim Hae-soo. Hopefully, I pronounced that correctly. Once again, I appreciate those who are watching this. Hope you enjoy this. Please join in the discussion down in the comments. This will be a half review, half discussion. Try not to get into too many spoilers in case you never watched this before and you're curious what this is about. So what is this show about? Well, it's about a queen who has 5 sons, and her oldest son is the crown prince. And he's this outstanding individual who's very great in the academics, and all the scholars are very impressed with him. And he lives his life in the most upright way. He has a wife and a kid even, and he's very good to them as well. However, the 4 younger brothers are, because they don't really have anything to live for, since their oldest brother is going to be the crown prince, they kind of do their own thing. They don't really live like a prince should. They're out doing stuff that kind of humiliates the royal family. And we find out that the crown prince also has an illness that can be deadly. So our queen is trying to find a cure for this illness, in case so he won't die. But if he does die, there's a possibility that a son from a concubine could take over as a crown prince, and this could put her sons in danger, their lives in danger, as well as hers, because they are the legitimate children of the king. But if somebody else overcomes them and becomes the crown prince, it'd be in their benefit to wipe out those 4 brothers. And so we see her trying to rein in these her sons to make them more presentable, to help them take their education more serious, in case the oldest son, the crown prince, does die. That way one of them would be able to take over the position as crown prince, because they'll be respectable and have the support of the scholars and so forth. In the first episode, we're introduced to some of the competitors, introduced to all the wives. The king has 10 wives. He has the queen and then 10 concubines, I believe, or is it 9 concubines? Something like that. But anyways, he has like 10. Make that 11, because in the first episode, he gets a new wife. The king in this, I kind of like the king. He's an upright guy. He tries to do best for his people. We see that there's a disease going on, wiping out a village, and his council is trying to tell him just abandon them, don't just isolate them, let them just die off. And he refuses to do that. He wants to send them food and such, and do it in a way that can contain the plague that's going on in the city, while at the same time giving them support. And so we see him that way, the king, and that aspect as being a good guy. He's just kind of like a whoremonger, He has 10 wives. I think like 4 of them, I think, went through the process of being a concubine, but the other concubines were like a maid of one of his other concubines. I think one was a maid of the queen, so he married her. His latest one was a girl he saw on the street, so he took her in as a concubine. So when it comes to being, what do you call it, fidel, or, honest, true to his queen, not so much. But he seems to be a good guy when it comes to ruling his country. At least that's what it appears in these first 2 episodes. We'll see what follows. Also, we see that what's going on right now with our crown prince, him getting sick and stuff, is nothing new. It's something that's happened in the past. In fact, the king now, or is it the king or emperor now, was not the original crown prince. In fact, the original crown prince had the same disease, as we're told, as the one that is now. But his death was kind of suspicious, because he was supposed to cure this disease, but he still died. And then his mother was overthrown, and her 4 children and her children were overthrown as well. And once this king took over, the previous prince, I don't want to say princess as in girls, but prince, were the four of them, well, three of them were mysteriously killed off and such, and so, but our old queen that got dethroned, she's still alive, and I think she still has one son left. And so the Queen Dowager, is that how you say it, pronounce it? She's the mother of the king now, and for some reason, I think I know the reason, but she doesn't like the modern day queen, the wife of her son. And I think it's because, if I had to guess, it's because she's not loyal to the queen. It wasn't the one that the Queen Dowager wanted to be the wife, the queen of her son. And so she's doing some politicking behind the scenes. And she's starting to set up a way to get rid of the crown prince. And also the queen has set up a concubine to be the next Queen Dowager type of thing. But she wants the next crown prince and his mom to be loyal to her. So she's very deceptive and backstabbing. And you just can tell that she's a very evil person. She says she's doing it all for her son, that she cares for her son. But I'm not really sure if that is really the case. So we kind of see that playing out, that it's really the Queen Dowager and the queen going head to head. And the Queen Dowager is using the concubines and their sons to get what she wants, which is, kind of more power through them, that they'll be loyal to her. And she's, that is what it is. So we got these two going head to head. And then we have like probably the main protagonist as the concubine sons, who's going to go for the crown. This dude is just like a weasel. He's actually the oldest son of the king, but because he was born of a concubine, he didn't get to be the crown prince. His mom, everybody thought she would be the queen, but the king chose differently, chose another woman. Everybody thinks it's because, I don't know, I guess they're cousins or something, because the first concubine, her family is on his mother's side. And it's probably why the mother kind of, the Queen Dowager kind of favors her and her son. So he is the oldest son. I'm sorry, I hope I'm not confusing you, but the main challenger, he's kind of he's a weasel, man. You just don't like him. He does things to try to get the other princes to bully him. He's actually bullying them, but they retaliate, and then it looks like they are actually picking on him and such. But it's actually the other way around. He's just not a good guy. So I got a feeling that eventually, if you ever watch my videos like these, I try to predict what's going to happen in the future. Just see where the story's going, and then see if I got it right or not. I don't know if you guys are like that or too, but I think eventually the crown prince will probably die. He has to die, I would think, just for the story. I don't know what episode it will be in, probably about maybe halfway, maybe earlier, but got a feeling that he will die, and that way we get a more hit on between the four sons and then the concubine sons, but in particular the son of the first concubine. Hopefully that makes sense. But I think it's really going to be the second oldest son of the queen versus the son of the first concubine. I think those are two going to be like going head to head. We already see that they really got a good rivalry going right now. They both don't like each other. It's going good. So just the final thing, my final thoughts on this show. Under the Queen's umbrella. When I first heard the title and saw the previews, I thought, it's going to be like our main queen here, and how her umbrella is like protecting her children, and she's going to use her power and influence to protect them from their competitors. But this could actually imply to the other queens too. There's actually 3 queens in here. So you got the modern day queen, and you got the Queen Dowager, and then you got the overthrown queen who is still out there. She's like a peasant now. She's trying to live her life, stay out of politics and everything. And the reason why I think under the Queen's umbrella can apply to all 3 is that first, the Queen Dowager, she's using her power to protect the other concubines and their sons, to help raise them up to be the next crown prince, and she's trying to get them to be use her power not only to protect them, but to get them to be loyal to her. And then we have the queen that's been overthrown. She's giving advice to her current queen because what's going on right now in the show was what happened to her years past. And so she's giving the queen advice on what she should have done to prevent her downfall of her family and the murder of her sons. And so she's giving her advice what she should have done to prevent that, because she's a good woman and she wasn't really prepared herself or her children for the Game of Thrones, I guess you say, going back to that, to the political theater that's happening, and how the concubines in her time were more knowledgeable and more adept to the political atmosphere. So she's giving the current queen advice. So she's kind of got her umbrella over the current queen, and the current queen, she gets her power and she's using her umbrella, her influence over her children, trying to get them to straighten up and trying to say, hey, you guys are in danger of what's going on. But she's still trying to keep a secret of the crown prince's illness from the king and from her children as well. So, but she's trying to influence them without them trying to influence her children to do good without telling them why she's all of a sudden trying to push them to going to school and to studying and to take more care of their lives and be more upright. So to me, I think the Queen's umbrella right now falls under those three queens. We'll see what's going on in the future. I like this. I don't think there's going to be any romance in this unless the girls are introduced later on. No young actresses were really introduced in this, except in the first scene when we have, it seems like one of the princes was having some kind of affair, but maybe that will come on later on when to help. Maybe that will happen. Sorry, maybe that will happen later on in the series when choosing a wife will be politically favored for them. You want to marry a daughter of an influential family, so maybe that will happen later on in the series. But right now, I don't see this being a romance. So if you're looking for a show that has a strong political storyline with some romance, right now I don't see that happening. But it's only the first 2 episodes. It could develop later on. I think it should actually, like later on, because in this time period, marriage to those influential families could help your son progress and become king. So I think that will probably play a factor later on, probably in like the 10th or 11th episode. I would imagine if they're going to do that, that would be when it happened. Could be earlier, but who knows. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this. Thank you for listening to me ramble on for 13 and a half minutes. If you like this, you're still around, hey, hit the like button. Leave a comment. Do you like this show? Where do you think it's going? And have a great day. That's the most important thing. Bye.